Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's their time and bandwidth.
Today's game is Ninja Combat, a NeoGeo beat-em-up that aims to mix punching with projectiles. Does Ninja Combat hold up to the test of time? Well, let's find out. Ninja Combat is a NeoGeo beat-em-up released by Arcade Archives that fuses the shuriken tossing of Shinobi with a more standard beat-em-up type experience, aka a belt scroller, back in 1990. The game's core mechanics are very simple. You're starting Ninja as a basic ranged attack that you can spam to kill people, as well as your usual jump and an acrobatic dodge. An interesting point is each character has unique dodge as well as a dodge plus attack combo, which varies depending on who you're playing as. It's also worth mentioning that dodge actually has 0 iframes, so you can't use it to, say, escape from a corner while an enemy is stun locking you. You can also burn one of your 4 health into a big chunky screen clearing move by charging it, though if you're interrupted while casting it, it gets cancelled, but you still lose the health, which is just like really cool. Thanks for that. As you traverse the stage, you'll get power-ups that come in 2 flavors, speed upgrades and power upgrades, all of which go if you die. Additionally, there's a whole ton of ninja weapons to pick up and use, from long-range nunchucks, Nippon steel katanas, poke spears, and the terrible hand axe. It's worth mentioning you can only use these weapons as the starting 2 characters, which is my segue to talk about the other ninjas. As you fight bosses and sub-bosses, new characters will join you and be selectable between stages. There's 3 in total: a wind-powered ninja lady, a big buff punchy dude, and a completely overpowered 2-sworded grandpa. Seriously, pick sword grandpa. Even if none of these characters can pick up weapons, it does not matter, you just pick sword grandpa. Stages are structured like any other beat-em-up with sub-bosses and final bosses, and aside from a fun roller coaster gag, doesn't really do anything new or interesting. Most of your enemies are also just the same batch of ninjas in different gis, though bosses at least are fairly unique, though they often don't feel designed around the fact you have a ranged attack. And there's not much more to say about Ninja Combat. It's 2-player, like every game of this type, I guess, but it's really a bog standard beat 'em up that's only real gimmick is having a bad dodge and emphasis on ranged weapons. So what I like about Ninja Combat? Well, having multiple characters that you pick up over your journey and can switch to between stages is a really cool idea from both gameplay and story perspective, and they actually play different from your starter guys. Additionally, the idea of a more ranged focused, methodical beat 'em up isn't bad. It reminds me of some of the ideas the Ninja Saviors games incorporated around more precise beat 'em up combat. And lastly, it keeps your score after you continue. I'm reaching for pros here, but those who have Arcade Archive know that these achievements are tied to score. And since you can just continue as much as you want, wham bam, easy trophy. When it comes to the bad, this game's difficulty is a disaster, with having tons of enemies that stun lock you even through continued respawns, and in several instances forcing the screen to move and locking you into enemy chains until you're dead. It's unpolished. Speaking of unpolished, the game's balance is whack. Melee weapons you can pick up are often way worse than just using projectiles, and the 2-sword grandpa is so much better than any others, there's no reason to pick anybody besides him. And lastly, the final boss is a quarter-munching joke that isn't challenging, it's just boring and sucks. It has limbs you can knock off, but they respawn near instantly. It is tedium incarnate. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. And one of the reasons why I did this series is there aren't nearly enough review of Arcade Archives, NeoGeo or otherwise, to tell people which games are good or bad. So I'll just say it right now. Ninja Combat is an absolutely frustrating experience. It has bland visuals, poor combat, and stun-locking enemies, paired with just overall design decisions that make this game one you should absolutely pass on. Playing this after the Ninja Saviors reboot, as well as NeoGeo's Ninja Commando, was like going from the filet mignon of arcade ninja games to a cow pie. This game's bad, don't buy it. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you had the unfortunate pleasure of buying or playing Ninja Combat? Do you enjoy the NeoGeo Arcade Archives? Please let me know what you think in the comments, but regardless, go out there and just don't play this.